Hello, my fellow compadres. Today I'm bringing you. Oh, fuck. Today I'm bringing you a motion tracking tutorial. Using Element and Boujou. I don't really prefer the camera tracker in After Effects because one, it doesn't really work for me, and two, it doesn't really work for me. Yeah, so it's the only reason why I don't use it. So my mouse doesn't work right now, so I'm gonna have to be using my mouse pad. I don't know how well I can use this thing because my USB wants to be gay on me. But I'm just gonna jump right into this. Fuck that. So I just got a random cinematic off of YouTube. You should probably make your own cinematics for this and like make them as clean as possible, make them steady as possible, no camera shaking or anything. Because motion tracking with Boujou, it'll track pretty much every single movement the camera does, and your text will be moving all over the place. So what I'm going to do is just drag this to this composition box or icon right here, and I'll make a new comp for it. You want every aspect of this clip to match the composition, because you don't want this being 59.94 and then your composition being 29.97, or then your motion track will be like all gay and whatnot. But zoom in a little bit right here. As you can see, they're spectating right here, and menu, chase, score, yada yada. What you can do is just zoom out a little bit. I'm not going to zoom out with my mouse pad because it'll be all over the place. Just stretch it out a little bit. Click on the clip, I mean. Stretch out a little bit and then drag it upwards. And then maybe stretch it out a little bit this way. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stretch it out a little bit this way. And let's see here. Maybe we can drop that down just a little bit more. Actually, no, we can't. Okay. So we're just gonna stop. We're just going to just keep it like this for now. And it'll look fine as long as this part's like noticeable. And we're not gonna use this whole thing. I mean, it'll be cool to use this whole thing because it has like this little TV right here. You can do like a little cool little masking thing for an intro and put in. You can have two sides for text. But we're only going to use one half just to keep this short and simple. We'll end it right about here. Alt bracket, and bam, and then press N on your keyboard so that this little icon, or not icon, but orange thing will lock onto your cursor. And that's pretty much it for that. So zoom in right here, bam. So what we're gonna do is add it to render queue. Go to lossless. It'll pop up for me. And we'll either go to JPEG sequence or PNG sequence. I usually use PNG. I don't know why. I don't know. I just like PNG because I'm a badass. So we're gonna make a new folder for this. I've already made it, but I tried doing this tutorial earlier, but I kind of failed at it because I forgot to make the composition the same as all the others, or as my thing. But I'm gonna just, oh fuck, I'm just gonna make a new folder. I don't feel like deleting all that. Delete you. That's fine. Okay, there we go. And new folder. Let's name this MT for motion track. Bam. And double click that and save. And that's pretty much it. All you gotta do is just render it out. Depending on how long this will take, I might make you sit through it, or I might stop it because I'm not a mean person. Actually, I am, but you know, whatever. Let's see how long it is first. Oh god, 14 minutes. I'll get back to you guys in however long this. Okay, so this is my 5th or 6th time redoing this part of this tutorial. So I'm just gonna briefly go through as best as I can what you have to do in Boujou. I mean, I know I told you I was gonna do it in Boujou, so I don't want you guys to be like, oh cliche, you told us you were gonna. So what you do is just import sequence. When you're done rendering out your PNGs, it should be right where you saved it. My folders are right here. Since I already did it, you just click your first PNG. But what you do is just go to drop down and then your users, Then you click the first photo and then open, and then make sure your frame rate matches your comp, which is 59.94, and then apply. And then you close this out, and then you track features. You just start. It'll go through a process that might take a little while depending on your computer specs. Mine takes a shit long time. Then you camera solve, which will take probably twice as long as the track features. Again, depending on your computer specs, you make sure you click optimize camera path smoothness just to make it a little bit more clean. Now the scene geometry, I'll go a lot more depth in on than what I did with the other 3 things you had to do. So what you do is you click scene geometry and you add a coordinate from hint. And when you add a coordinate from hint, make sure you change the type to whatever axis you want to represent. So for the origin, the origin is just right in the middle where you want your text to be, and you don't really, I mean, yeah, you do really need that, but but for your y-axis is up and down. So you want to click the best 2 points that represent up and down and that are next to each other and not moving like at all. So what I did was pick these 2 points right here. They're close together, they're not moving at all, they're in one position through the whole thing on that entire wall, and I click those. So what you can do is just click one and then control click the other and then connect to selected, which is, I already did that. Well, you actually could pick these 2 points over here, but I just picked those. And for the x-axis is side to side, so I picked these 2 over here on this wall right here. They're next to each other, they're straight across, they're not moving at all, they're not behind the wall, they're not in front of the wall, they're on the wall itself. And then you just click those, click one point, control click the other, and then connect to selected. And then for the origin, I want my text right here, so what I did was just put the origin dot right there on the floor, and then connect it to selected. Now what you do is just update coordinate frame, and then it updates it all and puts it into wonderfulness. And you go to export camera, make sure the export type is After Effects Maya file, and then make sure that export flag tracks only is checked, because if you don't, it'll make a lot of null objects and you'll crash and you'll cry in your sleep. Scale by scene, you want that at 1000, and then you just save it wherever. I'm not going to save this myself since I already did it, but my project's right there. You can name it whatever, save it wherever, do whatever you want with it. Just save it and it'll save, and then after that is done, go back to your After Effects, import your untitled project or whatever you titled it, and then it'll make this comp right here. Double click that, and then this will open, and you'll have your camera track right here. So you click that, Control C, which copies the layer, and then go back to your first frame of where you camera tracked, and then Control V, and then it pastes it right there. That's why I told you not to mess with this, not to drag it over here, so you know exactly where to put your camera track. Now what you do from here is you make a solid. Make sure it fits the aspect ratio 1280 by 720, and just name it element. And then search it up in your effects and presets element, and then click and drag it onto your solid. And this will pop up. So you drop down these right here, and drop down that one, just like that. And then click your text tool right next to your pen tool. You can pick whatever font you want. You can change it to whatever color. The color really doesn't even matter. You can just pick the color and element. But I'm just going to do BBAS for now, just to keep this a little bit short, like I said. So Cliche Presents, if I can type. And then just turn this eyeball off over here. You don't need to see it at all. Now go back to your element, and then go to your custom text path masks, path layer 1, and drop that down, and go to your Cliche Presents. And then go to your scene setup. And you're like, whoa, but no problem, just extrude, and then bam, and your 3D wonderfulness text has turned from 2D blahness to 3D wonderfulness. Click your presets down here, go to your bevels, or you can just use a material, whatever you want, and I'm just going to use this one right here because I am cool and I'm a badass, and that looks good. It looks fine. I'm not gonna mess with. You can mess with a lot of settings. I'm not gonna go in depth with that. Click OK, and you're probably like, "What? Where's my text?" Well, you have to change the origin, or not origin, but the position X and Y. So go to your particle replicator and turn both of these 0 so that it matches your origin, and then bam, it pops up right there. So move forward a little bit to where your doorway or pathway, whatever you want to call it, is lined up in the middle, and then just move this over. Oh, I'm gonna do about 70 or negative 70. I mean, negative 70, and then move it up. Oh gosh, where'd it go? Too far. Never good with up and down. Put it at negative 130, negative 135 actually, and then turn the Z, position Z to 25, because it turns out that this didn't really need a Z-axis. It's not always gonna work like that, and we're gonna change the size. So drop down your particle look and change it to about 7 or 8. 7 or 8 looks nice, and then you could probably mess with your position again, make sure it's all lined up and beautiful. The rotation seems a little bit off, so go to your rotation on your particle replicator and then change it to about -2. -2 seems to put it right back into place, and that is it. You can mask out this wall, you can make it fancy. I'm not going to go in depth on how to make it fancy with all the flares and CCs and all that shit, but what you can do is, if you want this to be masked out so this S isn't like hovering over that wall right there, you can just go back to the comp that I told you to make in the beginning, drag your motion track comp into this one. Now go back to your motion track comp, click on your raw file of the cinematic, Control C, go back to your comp, then Control V, and then make sure that's under your motion track comp. You'll see why I did that in a second. Now click your motion track composition, click the pen tool, put a pen tool right there, mark right there, right there, right there, and right why you gay, and right there, right there. And then you're like, whoa, it did it the wrong way. Well, just change your masks to inverted, or you can subtract it. Either way it works, and then bam, your S is covered. Now, you probably, if you don't know this by now, it's not going to stay like that through the whole thing. Your mask is going to move. I mean, it's not going to move unless you make it move. So you're going to have to keyframe your mask path. So just click that little stopwatch, and then, I don't know, move over, and then just move your mask with the wall. And then, oh my gosh, there's the S again. And then bam. Make sure it's like nice and clean. I mean, don't go over as far as I did. Make sure you go about every 10, maybe 5-10 frames. Make sure it's all nice and good with the wall. And this seems to be good. And there is element motion tracking with Boujou. It is not that hard to do. It's easy to mess up, but not hard to do as long as you know what you're doing. And all in all, I think it's a lot better than Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D, in my opinion, isn't really made for motion tracking. I don't like it at all. Like, to be honest, I hate Cinema 4D motion tracking. I could deal without it. Like, I don't even care for it, to be honest. I don't even care for it at all. But that's it. Like I said, me and a couple friends are making an editing channel. Put the link in the description so you can go sub that. We haven't had an upload yet. I don't know what our upload's gonna be. Let's see what time I'm at. 10 minutes. This will probably be about a 14-minute tutorial. But this is it. If you want more of these, if you want a suggestion, if you want to tell me what I should do a tutorial on, then hit me up, inbox me, comment, like, whatever you want to do. don't randomly ask me in the inbox message if I can edit your episode. I don't edit free for anyone, like random people anymore. It's a PSN card, the lowest amount possible, because I want something out of this. Like, I'm starting to get better, and yeah. So this is element motion tracking. It is a awesome way to make a motion track, a nice clean motion track, and this is pretty much it. So peace out, guys.